Hi friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In the last video, I have discussed a few MySQL statements like how to create the database, how to create a table inside a particular database, how can we insert the values or rows or tuples into the table. All these concepts I have discussed in detail even with the Python programming language with the help of Python database connectivity. I hope you have watched that video. If you did not watch that video or if you don't know those concepts, I request you to go back and watch that video and come back to this video. In this video, I will discuss how can we display the rows or tuples from the table and also how can we update the values from the table. All these concepts I will discuss in detail for you. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. In the last video, after inserting the rows in a particular table, we have verified whether those rows have been successfully inserted or not. How we have verified? We have displayed the rows or tuples from the table. If you want to display the rows or tuples from the table, you need to use a statement called select statement. The select statement is useful for you to display the rows or tuples from the table. Suppose let's take that in a table you have three attributes like roll number, name and then branch. If you want to display only roll number from the table called student, then you need to write select roll number from student. In that case, all the students' roll number which is there in the student table will be displayed. If you want to display roll number and name, then you need to give select roll number, which is one of the attribute, and name is another attribute from the table name you need to provide. In that case, the roll number attribute and also the name attribute and the corresponding tuples will be displayed from the student table. If you want to display all the attributes, then you need to simply select star from table name. Then all the attributes and also the rows will be displayed from the student table. Let's consider that you want to display the tuples which are satisfying a certain condition. You don't want to display all the rows. You want to display only few rows where the tuples which have satisfied the condition. Then you can write select star from table name which is student, and then you need to write where clause, and then you need to write a condition. The tuples which are satisfying the condition only displayed. Now let me discuss all these concepts in MySQL, then we will go for the Python database connectivity. Now let me open the MySQL 8.0 command line client. Now I need to enter my password. While I have installed the MySQL, whatever the password I have given, the same password I should mention here also. And then I need to write show databases. What are the databases are available? In that one, we have created Parnika database. So let me use that Parnika database. So I need to write use Parnika and then end with semicolon and press enter. Now the database has changed. If you want to display all the existing tables from the Parnika database, you need to write a statement called show tables. Now you can see in the Parnika database only one table is there called student. If you want to look at the description of the table, you need to write DESC table name. Now you can see it has given the description. There are few attributes are there like roll number, name, branch, and for each attribute the corresponding data type, does it allows the null values or not, what is the default value, all these are mentioned. If you want to look at the data or the rows from the table, you can write select star from table name which is student. Now you can see there are four tuples are there, where is 1 Jagadish CSC, 2 Siri ECE, 3 Nikhil ECE, 4 Sai mechanical branch. Now if you want to display only few attributes, then you can give the attributes list. Let's consider that I want to display the roll number and the name from student table. Now if you verify, only the roll number and name attributes have displayed and the corresponding tuples. If you want to display only roll number. Then let me write select the roll number from table name, and let me enter the semicolon and press the enter button. Now only the roll number have been displayed. Now let's consider that I want to know the students who are studying the CSC branch. Then I can write select star from table name, which is student, where I need to write the condition. What I need to write? Branch is equal to CSC. Now the students who belongs to the CSC branch only will be displayed. So you will get Jagadish information and Nikhil information. Look at here, we got the roll number 1, name is Jagadish, he is studying in CSC department, and roll number 3, name is Nikhil and he is studying CSC. So like that you can give a certain condition also. Then the tuples which have satisfied the condition from the prescribed table will be displayed. So we have discussed the select statement in MySQL. Now let me discuss this concept using the Python database connectivity. Let me go to the browser and go for the Jupyter notebook. You know that if you want to use the Python database connectivity, we need to follow 4 steps. One is you need to import the MySQL connector module. So let me import MySQL dot connector, and then I need to create the connection. If I want to create the connection, I need to provide the connection attribute, and then I need to use MySQL dot connector class. Then inside the connector class we have a method called connect method. In that connect method we need to provide 4 attributes. One is the host name, which is a local host, and then I need to provide the user, which is a root, and similarly I need to provide the password, which is the password which I have used while installing the MySQL, and then the table is there in which database, so you need to provide the database name. The table is there in the Parnika database in my scenario, so I have provided the database name as Parnika. Then what you need to do, you need to create the cursor object. So let me write C is equal to con dot, then you need to use the cursor method. The cursor method is useful for you to execute the SQL statements in Python. Then you need to use the execute method. The execute method is useful for you to compile the SQL statement. So you need to write C dot execute. And whatever the SQL query you want to write, that SQL query you need to provide inside the execute. Now I need to use the select statement. So let me use the select statement here. So I will write select star from table name. So what is the table name? Student. Now it will give all the rows, but you want to fetch them. Am I right? Because if you use the select star from table name, then it will give all the attributes and all the tuples which are there in the student table. Now you need to fetch each row, right? If you want to fetch the rows from the result, you need to use the 2 methods. One is fetch all and another one is fetch one. Let me discuss those methods, then I will discuss the further concept. So let me first discuss about the fetch all method. The fetch all method retrieves all the rows in the result and returns them as a list of tuples. So you will have each element consists of one row from the provided table. Whereas fetch one methods fetches the next row in the result of a query and returns as a tuple. Suppose let's take that if you use the fetch one method, then it will fetch only the particular row only. It will not fetch all the rows. So like that we can use the fetch all method and fetch one method. If you want to fetch all the rows, then you can go for the fetch all. If you want to fetch only the one row, which is the next row, then you can go for the fetch one method. Let me write a statement called result is equal to, I need to write C dot fetch one method, and then I need to write print result, and then I need to close the connection. How can I close the connection? I need to use the con dot close method. So I have imported the MySQL dot connector Python module, then I have used the MySQL.connector class and use the connect method to connect to the particular host, username and password and the database. And then I have used the cursor method, which is useful for you to execute the SQL statements in Python. Then I have used the execute method, which is useful for you to compile the SQL statements, and then it will give me all the rows. If I want to fetch only one row, then I can use the fetch one method. Now what it will do is that it will display the first row from the student table. If you want to run the program, you can verify. In the provided table, you have 4 rows are there, but it has displayed the first row. If you want to observe, look at here. In the table called student, we have 4 rows are there. The first row consists of one Jagadish CSC. That information have been displayed. If you want to display all the rows, then in that case you need to use the fetch all method, and then let me run the program. Then it will give you all the rows as list of elements. So you have a list. Inside the list you have one element. That one element represents one row, which is a one tuple here. So one Jagadish CSC is a one row in SQL. Here it is a one tuple. So you have list of tuples. So like this you can display all the rows from the provided table. If you want to display them row by row, here if you look at one row comma second row, third row, like that it has displayed. If you want to display all the rows properly, then you can use the for loop. You can write for I in result, and then you can print I. So here result is what? Result is now a list. So it will go to the each element in the list and it will be stored in the I, and that I you are displaying. Now let me run the program. Now you can verify we have got all the rows from the student table. 1 Jagadish CSC, 2 Siri ECE, 3 Nikhil CSC, 4 Sai Mechanical. Let's consider that you want only few attributes. Then that attributes list you can provide here. Suppose let's take that I want to display only the roll number. Then I will give select roll number from the student table. Now let me run the program. Only the roll numbers will be displayed, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. You can look at here. If you want the roll number and also the name, now I can give select roll number comma name from the student table. Let me run the program. You got the roll number 1 and name Jagadish, like that. If you want the roll number and name of a student where they have satisfied a certain condition, then you can use the where clause and you can provide the condition. Suppose let's take that I want to know the students roll number and name who are studying in CSC department. Then you can enclose the CSC, which is a string, inside the single quotes, and then you can provide the query in the double quotes. Please remember this point. As we are providing the query in the double quotes, anything if you want to give it as a string inside the query, you need to mention using the single quotes. Now let me run the program and verify the output. You can see the roll number 1 Jagadish, roll number 3 Nikhil are belongs to CSC department. If you want to get all the attributes like roll number, name and branch where the student belongs to the CSC branch, then you can provide like this. Now you can see 1 Jagadish CSC, 3 Nikhil CSC. Suppose let's take that you want to verify multiple conditions where branch is equal to CSC. I want to use the logical AND, and then I want to say roll number is greater than 1. Then only 3 Nikhil CSC should be displayed. Let's verify. See, we got what we have given the condition. We have given a condition where you have the logical AND. So you have first condition, logical AND, second condition. The tuples which are satisfying both the conditions will be displayed. So first condition is filtering the students who are belongs to only CSC department, and then you are filtering based on the roll number. From the CSC whose roll number is greater than 1 should be displayed. Roll number 1 is belongs to Jagadish, because his roll number is not greater than 1, his information have not displayed. So like this you can use the select statement to fetch the information from the table. Let's consider that you have mistakenly entered some value or some information into the table. Now you want to update it. Suppose let's take that if you don't have any such statement to update the value, then in that case what you need to do, you need to remove the particular row and then again you need to insert. But MySQL support one statement called update statement. It is useful for you to update the information in the table. The syntax for using the update statement is you need to provide update table name in the which table you want to update the values, and then you need to provide the set keyword, and then you need to provide the column name, and then you can provide the value. If it does not provide any condition, then what will happen is that in the provided table for the particular column name, it will be updating the value for all the rows. Suppose let's take that you want to update the marks of a student. Let's consider that marks of the students are 56, 67, 89 is there, and their roll number is, let's consider that it is 1, 2, 3 like that. Now let's consider that you want to update the marks of roll number 1 from 56 to 65. Instead of giving the condition, if you just mention like update table name set column name, let's write that marks is equal to 65, then what will happen is that as you have not provided for which tuples you want to update, in that scenario it will update the marks of all the students to 65. So from 56 it will be updated to 65, from 67 it will be updated to 65, from 89 to 65 it will change. Suppose let's take that you want to update the marks of a student which is satisfying a certain condition. Let's consider that whose roll number is 1. Then you need to provide like this update table name set column name, and then you can provide the value, and then you can use the where clause and you can provide the condition. So this is the generalized syntax of using the update statement on a particular table on a particular rows. Let's discuss with a simple example. If I write update student table set column name is equal to marks, and then I want to provide the value as 65. Instead of 65, now let me write it as 67, where I will provide the condition as roll number is equal to 1. The meaning is that the mark should be updated to the only one student whose roll number is 1. If you do like this, in place of changing the marks of all the students, it will change the marks of the student whose roll number belongs to 1. So this is the way you can update the values from a particular table. Now let me discuss this concept in Python database connectivity. So whatever the query you want to write, you need to provide inside the execute statement. So I will write update, table name is student, set, and then I will write branch is equal to mechanical, and then I will write condition. First let me not write any condition. Then what will happen? We will verify. And then once we have updated the values, we need to perform the commit operation. Then only whatever we are performing the operation, it will be saved in the database also. If you want to perform the commit operation, you need to use a method called commit. Now let me run the program. Now if you go to the MySQL and then display the information which is there in the student table, now you can update all the students branch will be updated to mechanical. Earlier, if you observe, Jagadish and Nikhil belongs to CSC branch, and then Siri belongs to EC branch. Only Sai belongs to mechanical branch. Now all the students belongs to mechanical branch. So if you simply mention update table name set column name is equal to value, this value will be updated to all the students. If you want to update to only certain students, then you can use the where class. Let me write branch is equal to CSC, where roll number is equal to 1 or roll number is equal to 3. Now, who are the students whose roll number is equal to 1 or 3 will be updated to CSC. If you want to verify, let me run this program. Go to the MySQL and write the statement select star from student table. Now you can see roll number 1 is Jagadish, his branch is updated to CSC. Roll number 3 is Nikhil, his branch is updated to CSC. Like that you can update the values in the tuple. So I hope you have understood how to use the select statement and update statement in MySQL and also Python database connectivity. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.